Okay, so today's presentation is going to be in Spanish. Welcome everybody to this Chinese medicine presentation. This is going to be, we're going to make 5 talks in total every Tuesday, starting from today. And we're going to learn about each of the 5 organs in Chinese medicine. And today we're going to talk about the kidneys, okay? And in Chinese medicine, the kidneys are related to water and also to the emotion of fear. So yeah, that's what we're going to see today. I'm going to start speaking in Spanish from now. Bien, entonces la presentación del día de hoy se titula El miedo y el fuego de la vida. Una de las emociones de los riñones, o una de las emociones que están conectadas con los riñones, es el temor, pero no es la única. Y vamos a ver cómo es que la medicina china y la filosofía chinas entienden el miedo y por qué el miedo está conectado con los riñones y cómo esto puede afectar nuestra salud física. Mi nombre es Giancarlo, mi nombre en español es Giancarlo Avilés.
Is that able to
Speak in English? Is it?
No, it's fine.
It's fine?
No,
But we have to switch the language.
No.
So it's fine.
no Spanish.
We use English. We should, because nobody can understand.
Directly,
Yeah.
like that is not 100% perfect. Is but yeah, using English is.
I think English is better.
Okay, so English is not my mother language, I'm going to speak slower.
Yeah, slower is.
Okay, so my name in Spanish is Giancarlo Avilés, it's not Giancarlo Chen. Chen is part of my Chinese name, I have 2 Chinese names. The first one is Chen Jian, and Chen is a surname, okay? And I put my Spanish name and my Chinese name together, and that's why I call myself Giancarlo Chen. I'm a former Chinese medicine doctor, and also I used to have a clinic back in Peru before COVID. But when the pandemic came, I had to close everything, and it changed my life. And I started to train again meditation, Qi Gong, Kung Fu, and I opened also my online school. And then I came to Thailand, and everything changed again. And I'm not doing my online school like before. I used to teach astrology, Chinese astrology, feng shui, and everything related to that. So now I'm using my knowledge in Chinese medicine to help people reconnect with their bodies and heal from within. That's my goal now. We're going to study some Chinese characters in this lecture. I'm going to use some translations from Chinese. I used to be also a translator. I studied also a bit of classical Chinese to translate medical text into Spanish and then teach Chinese medicine. So the first character we're going to study is Kong. Kong means fear or terror in Chinese. Every time we talk about emotions in Chinese language, we have this character here. Can you see it? I will write it on the whiteboard so you can see what I'm talking about. I think it's this one, right? So, heart in Chinese language, Xin. Okay? First tone. And you can have Xin under a character, like in Kong. So Kong is this, and you have Xin under the character, or like in Wu. Okay? This is also Xin. Alright? So every time we talk about something related to the emotions or the mind, we have Xin in any character. So Kong means terror. All emotions have the specific temperatures. Anger, for example, makes us flush and hits us from the inside. So every time we get angry, okay, our face turns red, and we feel the blood, coming up to the face, and that's why we can have different type of diseases, like for example, Bell's palsy, when the face gets paralyzed, when half of the face gets paralyzed. Also, ACV, I think is the word in English, right? Like when you have I think it's ACV. But anything related to blood pressure is connected to anger. Also fear, but mainly anger. Okay? Fear is associated with the ability to consolidate form, with rigidity, cold, bones, water, and also the kidneys. So if you go to the 5 elements, you have 2 models to represent the 5 elements in Chinese medicine and philosophy. You have this model here, okay, and the 5 elements are water, wood, fire, earth, and metal. Okay, so water produces wood, wood produces fire, fire, earth, metal, and metal, water. Okay, and this is the Shen cycle. This is the generation, or I think it's generation cycle. So that's a name in English. And you also have the control cycle, or the controlling cycle. In this case, earth controls water, okay, like this. Water controls fire, fire controls metal, metal controls wood, and wood controls earth. This is a recent model. This comes from the Han Dynasty. It's around 256 BC. Okay? But there is a previous model, and this model is connected with Taoism, with more like religion. And in this model, the earth is in the center. You have the fire here, you have water, you have wood, and metal. Okay? And it also moves in a circle. And the earth is in the center. The earth goes here, 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 and here, because the earth, we're going to get to this point later in one of the lectures, but the earth, it allows the body to transform energy, to transform qi. So whenever we want to go from water to wood, we need the earth. Okay? The earth allows the qi to become something different. Like in the body, the earth is connected to digestion. So every time we get some food, the food goes to the center here, and then it transforms into qi. Okay? So water is here, and water is in the north. Okay? When I say north, what comes to your mind?
Magnet.
Magnet? What else?
Not cold, cold.
Cold, right? What else? Yeah, maybe. So, for example, what's the color of the Lana culture? It's blue, right?
Oh, cool.
Cold, yeah. What else? If something is cold, what's its nature? You have
Ice.
ice. How's ice? Frozen. So it's solid, right? Why? Because the water consolidates. It's like a storage, consolidates everything in the body. Okay? So that's why the bones are here. The bones are solid, okay, are rigid. Okay, cold is the opposite to heat. So cold water is the opposite to fire in the body. Okay? So is fear cold or hot? Cold. Yeah. So that's its temperature. Okay? You shiver, right? Yeah. Within our body, both temperatures regulate each other to maintain life. And their structural manifestations, according to Chinese medicine, are the kidney and the heart. So in Chinese medicine and philosophy, if you go to the Jing, which is one of the oldest texts in Chinese medicine, the emotion comes before the physical form. So human beings are made of emotions, okay? The emotion comes first, and then the emotion produces a tissue, then an organ, and then a human being, okay? But first is the energy, is Qi. So we're going to read some chapters, some text from the Jing, and this is one of them. It comes from the Su Wen chapter 5. Thus Chipo said, heaven and earth are the upper and lower bounds of the 10,000 beings. Yin and Yang are the blood and Qi in men and women. So when we talk about heaven and earth, we're talking also about water and fire. Okay? So heaven is fire, earth is water. Okay? So you have this. How can I call that in English? I don't know the name, but you have water on the lower part of a body here and fire here. So it's like we need to keep those two places in balance. Okay? So they are like the limits. Okay? So for example, when we talk about water, we are also talking about the winter solstice. Okay? So when we talk about the winter solstice, which is around 21st to maybe 23rd of December, we're talking about the coldest day in the year. And it's a breaking point. It's that after this day, everything reverses. Okay, so it's the coldest day and it's the longest night. And after that, the day becomes longer. Okay, so it's like a breaking point. Also here, this is the summer solstice. This is something that we study in astrology. And you have the 21st, 23rd of July. Okay? And this is also another breaking point. Okay, this is the longest day in the year. And after this, the nights start getting longer. Okay? And then you have here, this is the spring equinox, right? And then you have the autumn equinox. Yeah? And the I Ching, you know the I Ching? The lines? No? The I Ching? Yeah? The I Ching comes from here. Okay? You have 10 yang lines, 10 yin lines. So winter solstice, summer solstice. Yang lines, yang means light. Okay? You know, yin yang, right? Sun, light. Yin means shadow. Okay? So then you have wood and fire, right? So this is yang, yang, and yang. And this is yin, yin, and yin. And then you have yang, yin, yin, yang. Okay? And then yin, yang, yin. And then this is yang, yin, and yang. And you have the I Ching there, which is this. The yin yang symbol comes from there. sorry, this is Yang and Yin. And why is this important? Because you see what's here? This white circle here? That's the flame of life. That's the topic of today's lecture. Why? Because the flame of life lies in the darkest place in the body. Okay? So, yin and yang are the blood and qi in man and woman. Left and right are the yin and yang of the past. So we are talking about wood and metal now. Water and fire are the concrete manifestations of yin and yang. Okay, so if we want to talk about yin and yang inside the body in their purest form, are water and fire. Okay. Yin and yang are what allow the 10,000 beings to begin. So the origin of life is actually, it comes from the union between fire and water. If you go back to the I Ching, you know the three young lines up, they represent the male, okay, and the three yin lines the female. Okay, so life comes from the union of that yin and yang. And then you have the character san, which means to store, to preserve. Okay, this is the character we use for yin organs inside the body. So kidneys, liver, heart, spleen, and lungs. Those are the yin organs. And you have this character here. Okay, my mouse is not there. Let me explain here. Okay, we have sun. This character here. And then okay. So you have this character here. This is the abbreviation. This is like this is the character role, which means meat in Chinese. Here, okay. And this is the radical form. Okay. This character also means yue, which means moon in Chinese. Okay. And then you have Zhang here, here, and here. So Zhang means something that is buried under the ground. This is Cao. Cao means grass. Okay? And this is some sort of like a vault, like a pot, maybe, where people put all the wealth, all the money, and like gold coins and everything, and they put them under the ground. So the yin organs, the sun, are places where the body stores all the valuable things. Okay, so like the essence, for example, which is related to the kidneys. Okay, so in Chinese medicine, we have these kind of movements. Like for example, when we were talking about the heart or the fire, the kidneys and the water. So the qi inside the body moves up and down all the time, and we have these external expressions. Okay, like the symptoms when we are treating patients, for example, we can see these movements of qi outside of the body, and we try to go to the root of the disease. We use these external expressions to get to the root of the disease, and the root of the disease is usually connected to the Zhang organs, to the yin organs. So the yin organ, we're talking about today is the Shen, the kidney. Okay, can you see that the upper part of the character? Look, you have tongue here, and you have this character here. Can you see it here? It's the same. Okay, all the organs except for the heart, they all have this meat character inside. All of them except the heart. Okay, we're going to get to that point when we talk about the heart. But the kidneys, they also work as a storage. Okay, and this here is hand. So it's like I'm grabbing something, I'm putting it inside the kidney and store it. Okay, so that's the function of the kidney, to store. So the kidney merges with the bones, it flourishes in the thick hair. So when we want to see in a patient, for example, if this patient has a healthy kidney, we look at the hair, okay, like here, also the thick hair, also the pubis, okay. So the thick hair talks about the kidney's health, okay. It is governed by the spleen. So spleen is connected to earth. Earth controls water. The kidney is the official of strength, okay. So our willpower comes from kidney's qi. Talent and technique emerge from it. And this comes from the Suwen, chapter 8. So when they say talent and technique, all of our talents, even our destiny, which is connected with our talents, they come from our parents and ancestors. And our parents and ancestors' qi is stored in the kidneys. Okay, so if we go to the kidneys shape is like this, right? It's like two seeds. Okay, and then the kidneys are connected to the spine. So the tree is like the spine here, and then you have the brain, right? But this is a tree. This is the trunk of the tree. When someone has some I could say emotional, but also spiritual issue, like this person cannot or don't want to follow his passion or her passion, or do whatever he or she wants, or follow his talents. This place here, especially the upper back, gets blocked because it's connected with the kidneys. And in acupuncture, all the points located here have this character Shen, which means illumination or spirit, and it's connected to the heart. So heart and kidneys are connected also here on the spine. But if someone is not thriving in life, that the spine usually gets blocked. Okay? And it usually comes from fear, because the kidneys are weak. Okay, so fear is what blocks the spine. Okay? So that's talent and technique. Okay, the north generates cold, cold generates water, water generates salty. So look, we're talking about the season first, then the element, and then the flavor. Okay, so it's qi. Saltiness generates the kidney. So then the flavor generates the organ. So we're not talking about anything physical yet on the first line. You see? Cold, water, saltiness, it's nothing physical. It's not in the body. Then the flavor generates the kidney, which means the organ. It's something physical now. Then the kidney generates the bones and marrow. Marrow generates the liver. Okay? Yeah. So this is water producing wood. The kidney governs the ears or hearing. So when we have, not all the hearing problems come from kidneys malfunction, but for example, if someone loses the um, his hearing ability slowly in life, it's connected to kidneys. Sometimes it's not the kidneys, but if it's slowly, it comes with age, for example, it's connected to the kidneys. In heaven is cold, on earth is water. In the body, it is the bones. Among the organs, it is the kidney. Among colors, it is black. Its musical note is yu. It sounds, in sounds, it is moaning. So for example, when someone has a weak kidney and he's going to sit down, it's like, "Ah," he makes his noise. Okay? It's like exhaustion. Like he's very tired. Okay? So it's that kind of moaning. Its movement is trembling, like shivering. It opens through the ears. Among flavors, it is salty. In emotions, it is fear. Fear harms the kidney. Thought overcomes fear. Cold harms the blood. So when we are afraid, and you can see that on the lips, the color of the lips. If we are afraid in life, if we move with fear in life, our blood gets thicker. Okay, like it's cold, so it gets more rigid and thicker. And you can see that on the lips. The lips get usually purple. Okay, also the nails. Dryness overcomes cold. Saltiness harms the blood. Sweetness overcomes saltiness. So this is more like a flavor theory, and this comes from this is not so precise in the Neijing. We have to go to other texts to understand this theory deeper. Okay, so this text comes from the Suwen chapter 5. So this is the north. Okay, this is cold. When I used to teach Chinese medicine to my students, I usually tell them that in the body we can find different like seasons, and also like I had a word before, places with different seasons. I don't know how to say that in English. I forgot. Climates, but there is another word. It's climates too. We see climates in the body, like regions with different climates. But there is a specific word for that, but I don't remember. So when we have a patient, or when I have a student, for example, and this person has any problem, I touch the body and I see which places are cold or hot, dry, and usually, when you study Chinese medicine, which places have to be hot and which places have to be cold. So when you feel cold in a place that is not, it's not this place, you know that there is some sort of disease or imbalance inside the body, the organs and the channels. Okay. Oh, environments. I think that's the word I wanted to use. So you have different environments. Okay. So for example, the digestion is hot. We need to have a hot digestion to digest properly. But if it's cold, we get diarrhea. If it's too hot, we get gastritis or something like that, right? So we need to keep the balance in the body. So this is, if I have to put these cold mountains on the body, this is the back. The back is like a range of mountains, of cold mountains. And it's very interesting because it's okay. So the back is very sensitive to cold, But at the same time, I can send heat to the back very easily with Chinese medicine. Why? Because the taller the mountain, of course, it's going to get colder, but it's closer to the sun. So I can use heat very easily to to treat the back. This is a very complex theory in Chinese medicine, but I mean, what we do is we pull heat from the inside, from the dantian, from this place here, and we pull it out through the back. Okay? I use this flame of life for that. And this is the emotion of fear. So I want to do an exercise with you, and I want to ask you, what is fear for you? If you want to describe it using your own words, what is fear for you?
Constriction. Constriction.
Constriction, okay. What else?
I think fears is like in my brain, I say imagine there is a very terrible future, some result may gonna happen or may not, but cannot sure, but cannot stop to thinking. But the thinking, it cannot make the result. So stress plus thinking too much, and fear is afraid. Afraid is for something that I don't know what it is, but I know there is something. There is a fear. There's a gap,
Yeah.
like a ghost.
Yeah.
Why we scare ghosts? We cannot prove ghosts exist, but still scared. I think it's a fear.
Yeah. So fear is a consequence of something that's happening inside your mind. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So.
I think for me also pain in my stomach.
Mm-hmm.
As if I feel that something dangerous is going to happen that I can't control.
Yeah. Good. So something that is out of control, something that is unknown, and something that produces constriction. Right.
Like a shell
Like a shell.
closing on yourself.
Yeah, good. So, which color will you put to fear?
A colorful black.
Moldy. Moldy.
Moldy. Okay.
Yeah, like navy blue or black.
Good.
Or color is what you asked. I thought you asked. Odor. Sorry. Black.
Black. So that's the color of water in Chinese medicine. Why is it black? Because fear is a consequence of the unknown. We are afraid of the things that we don't know. Okay? And we are usually get scared because of our thoughts. Remember, I was talking about the relationship between the kidneys and the brain? So, most of us, we live in survival mode every day.
Not always, but sometimes.
Yeah.
Flip it.
Yeah, most of the times. So, for example, when we practice meditation, when we practice breath work, we can calm the mind, and stop the thoughts. But usually, when we are afraid of something, it could be it could be not real, like I don't know, ghosts or whatever. Like I don't know, some bad situation that you think that some bad situation is going to happen, but it never happens. Okay, so it's that connection between the kidneys and the brain. Okay, so fear is the consequence of dealing with the unknown, with something that we don't know is going to happen. All right, and fear is darkness. Fear is a place where there is no light. Right? I don't know what's going to happen. I don't see the light. I cannot see further. Right? So that's fear. And that's what makes us feel paralyzed in life. So I am afraid of doing something and I feel paralyzed. I cannot move forward. However, remember when I was talking about the I Ching? So this is the Kan trigram. If we go back to the I Ching here, this is Kun, which means earth. Okay? This is Li, This is Kan, and this is Qian. This position here is the we call it the Xian Tian Pa Gua, the previous pre-heaven disposition of the Pa Gua, of the trigrams. But we have a Ho Tian Pa Gua, which means post-heaven Pa Gua. And the post-heaven Pa Gua, we put the Kan trigram here and the Li trigram here, so we get this here. Here. Okay, so this is the Kan, the water, and this is the Li, the fire, like in the Chinese medicine model I was showing you before. And remember, I told you that the lines, the yang lines, are this one, the entire line, and the yin lines were 2 lines. Remember, so we have 2 lines here. Okay, which represent the darkness. Okay, they are connected to fear. We also have this line here, which means the fire or the light inside darkness. Okay, so that's this symbol here. Okay, so we have this dark place, this dark circle, and we have this red spot inside, which is the flame of life. So when there is rebellion against winter Qi, then Shaoyin does not store and kidney Qi sinks down. So what happens when we are afraid is that the kidney stops storing Qi. So, for example, have you ever wondered why some kids go to pee at night, like maybe 3, 4, 5 times a night? Do you know why is that? But what's happening there? Kidney.
Yes.
They are usually scared.
Scared.
Yeah. You know, when I used to treat kids before in my clinic, and the parents told me that their kid was going to the toilet every night, like 4, 5 times a night. I used to talk to the parents first, because they usually scare the kid.
Well, like an old sentence is to say the kids when they pee in the middle of the night is because they play fire. When the kids play fire, they say if you play fire, you're gonna pee in the middle of the night.
What do you mean by play fire?
Play fire like
Play with fire.
play with fire.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's how teaching to scare the kids not to play fire.
Yeah. Yeah, but usually kids that are scared, they go to pee at night. Okay, and if you go to pee during the day, very often, usually your kidneys are weak because they're not storing Qi. So why do you pee often during the day? Because your kidneys are cold and they are sending out water from the body to get warm.
People with diabetes have a tendency to pee freely.
Yeah, that's why in Chinese medicine, at least in classical Chinese medicine, for example, we don't treat diabetes, we treat kidney deficiency. So we warm the kidneys,
Okay.
and then usually.
Don't think about pancreas as
No. And not all, if you have like 10 different patients with diabetes, diagnosed with diabetes, we don't treat those 10 patients the same way. Because we need to see, we need to take a poll, we need to see the tongue and see, the root of the disease. And each patient is different. But it's usually the kidneys. Yep. Okay. The kidney governs hibernation. It has been endowed with the ability to store and is where essence resides. It flourishes in the hair and fills the bones. It is the Shao Yin within Yin and connects with the Qi of winter. So, okay, so in the body we have Shao Yin. Shao Yin is a complex theory. This comes from, in Chinese medicine, it's called Liu Jing Bian Zhen, which means like pattern differentiation based on the 6 channels theory. Okay, so we have Tai Yin, Shao Yin, Jui Yin. Shao Yin is the lesser yin. okay, or the smallest Jing. And kidneys and heart are connected to Shaoyin. So Shaoyin stores the imperial fire. The fire from the heart is stored in the kidneys. Okay? And this fire is the one that keeps balance between digestion and blood flow. Okay? It's like a pivot. So this fire allows fluids to circulate through the body to fluids to circulate through the body, okay? And also uh, blood rises and falls, heats and cools thanks to this Shaoyin. Okay, so this fire inside the kidneys uh, allows many functions inside the body, many functions of the body to work properly. Okay, including these blood and digestion functions. Okay, so when the origin of disease is in Shaoyin, the victorious guest causes low back pain. So, for example, if you have low back pain, it's usually kidney pain in the coccyx, thighs, knees, hips, calves, feet, dizziness, heat with aching pain, abdominal swelling, inability to stand for long, change in urine color. So, for example, if the urine is white or transparent, it's usually kidney deficiency. It means cold. If you have yellow urine, it usually means heat inside the body. If the host is victorious, it's talking about the host is like it's ourselves, I think. Host is victorious. No, sorry. It's talking about something that's getting inside the body. Okay. Qi counterflows upward. So it means palpitations, for example. Okay? Heart pain, fever, obstruction in the chest, and P syndrome in the diaphragm. So the diaphragm gets obstructed and breathing becomes complicated. Post sweat, which means post sweat is a very also complex concept. So post sweat means sweating from the upper back, but spontaneously and at nights, especially. So post sweat is not retained and escapes through the flanks, and there is reversal in the forelimbs. So it means cold feet and hands. Okay, especially cold feet. So low back pain is one of the symptoms. Fluid retention in the abdomen. So ascites. I don't know if they call that ascites in English, right? I think when you have fluid retention in the abdomen and the abdomen gets it's like a balloon. 四逆 for reversals. So cold feet and hands. 盗汗, which means thief sweat. Okay. It means like you are losing essence through the sweat. Exhaustion, when you feel tired during the day, that means exhaustion. Low qi, low kidney qi. So how is this is in Spanish? How is the disease in the kidney channel? So it says when the channel is disturbed, there is extreme hunger without desire to eat, and the face is like charred wood. So you will see that, for example, you get these eyelids. Okay, I don't know how to call them in English. Eyelids, like black eyes. Then the face also looks darker. Coughing and spitting blood, thirst and shortness of breath, desire to get up when sitting. Eyes see nothing, heart feels suspended, as if in hunger. When qi is efficient, there is tendency to fear. The heart is startled, as if being haunted. This is called bone reversal. In ancient texts, they have this kind of language. Diseases governed by the kidney include heat in the tongue. So sometimes the tongue gets also red, okay, and it's usually connected with anxiety. Dry throat, sore throat, qi rising, throat irritation, heart pain, jaundice, intestinal disorders, pain in the spine and inner thigh, leg atrophy. desire to lie down, heat and pain in the soles of the feet. Okay, of the feet. In Shu chapter 10. And then we have the urine is white, it is due to cold in the lower jiao. You have three jiaos in the body, lower, center, and upper. Okay? And the lower jiao is connected with the kidneys. And inability to control water, hence its color. So the lower jiao cannot control the water and it goes out of the body. And it's white because it's cold. In Shaolin disease, the pulse is thin, so you can feel that the pulse is fading and faint under desire to sleep. So we want to sleep the whole day. So when we talk about the kidneys, we talk about this. Okay? Something that I wanted to say, because I also talk about this with my students, it's easier to say it in Spanish. So I'm going to speak slow and try to put my ideas in order. When we are afraid of doing something, that's usually what we should do. Okay? Yeah. Because the light in our lives comes from the most or from the darkest place. So when we do meditation, for example, and I know that there are many schools of meditation, especially here in Chiang. When we do meditation, we don't do meditation to just relax the mind and be peaceful the whole day. No, it's to look inside the darker places inside our body and our mind and to find this light. Okay? Because this light is a light of destiny. This light is what's going to tell us, okay, this is what you should do, follow this path, study this profession, put your life on this path. That's what this light is going to tell us. So if we are afraid of doing something, that's what we should do. Okay? So to overcome the fears we carry, we must see our own darkness. That's why we do meditation. Only in the darkest places within can we find the light we call fire of life. The fire of life is what drives us to wake up each morning, what gives us the will to live. It is closely linked to the fire of the heart, which illuminates the path we are meant to walk in this life. So the fire that is stored in the kidneys is the fire of the heart. In fact, the fire of life, according to one of the classic Chinese medicine texts, the Danjin, is located in a region called the Mingmen, Gate of Destiny. Okay, the Mingmen is under the L4 on the spine. It's between the kidneys, so that's the Gate of Destiny. And this is very interesting because it's when you see someone that is afraid to face challenges, to face his or her own destiny, usually that person has low back pain, okay? It's because of the fear. And what happens when you have low back pain? You usually get paralyzed. It's harder for you to move, right? So that's fear. Therefore, meditation and inner work must be the main measures we take to heal. Actually, I prefer doing meditation, Qi Gong, even more than acupuncture or herbs. And for me, it works better. Herbs that warm the kidneys, acupuncture and moxibustion are also very effective treatments. So that's why that's what we do meditation, okay? To look into the dark. Then we have this point here called Tai Chi, which is the shu point of the kidney. It warms and tonifies. So if you have some lower back pain, or maybe you go to the toilet very often to pee, you can do massage here. Or if you know how to do acupuncture, you can put a needle there. You can also use moxa. The moxa, call that the moxa stick. You can put moxa here, okay, and warm this place. Then you have Chao Hai, which which is kidney 6, opens the yin qiao mai and guides wei qi inward, which is this energy that comes out when we are scared. Okay, goes out and it weakens the body. So we use this point to send this energy back inside. Helps regulate sleep. So if you have sleeping problems, which are also related to fear, you can use this point. Okay, so this is my, how do you call that? How do you call this? Is it ankle? Oh yeah, it's ankle. Was thinking about malleolus, but yeah, it's ankle. So under the ankle, you have this bone here. Go under the bone, and you will find small depression, right? Depression. Sorry, here. Okay, so you put the needle there. If you are brave enough, put the needle here. It's very painful, and it helps a lot. Then you can use also these points here. They're called sensu. It's bladder 23, I think, is the number. So sensu are also very good for that. You can put also moxa here. You can use cinnamon bark. Okay, cinnamon bark is anxiolytic and cariotonic, excellent for insomnia and palpitations, warms kidney waters. So when I treated my patients before, I used to give them cinnamon before going to bed. You can try, you will sleep like babies. Then you have aconite. Aconite root is toxic, so this is just a reference on don't drink aconite without prescription. So aconite root is used to activate the fire of the kidneys. In some Chinese medicine schools, it is used to in high doses, tonifies and warms the kidneys. And then you have longgu, dragon bone, and muli, oyster shell, which are used as medical substances to anchor yang inward. Okay, so what happens when we are afraid and when we have this kidney deficiency is that the yang, the life, the light inside the body goes out. We need to store it again. They regulate sleep, calm anxiety, and secure fluids within. Okay? And that's it. Thank you. Do you have any question? No?
I have
A lot of questions.
too many questions.
Okay.
In fact, I want to ask for a private consultation maybe. After this one, we have to talk about the situation.
Yeah.
But connected to this, I would like to ask about fear and anger, right? Rage. They're kind of interconnected. It's like anger raises from fear, kind of a thing. And if you try to suppress, overcoming fear is different from trying to just suppressing or going forward with the fear. But it kind of creates a lot of problems with anger, rage, and it creates a whole set of problems in the body.
Yeah.
How are they connected?
You can find the answer in nature. Let me explain it to you. Usually, the more afraid we are, the more anger we have.
Yeah.
So, and we go.
Philosophically, I agree with that.
What?
Philosophically, I agree with that.
Yeah.
It's a
So,
wise.
what?
It's a wise.
Yeah, it's amazing. Actually, it's amazing. Okay, so you have this model here. Okay, we're going to use this model. So you have water, wood, metal, here, no, sorry, earth, fire, earth, and metal. Okay? So, metal, yeah. Sorry, my English is. So, metal here. And then you have water, okay? So, what happens? Wood is like a tree, okay? We're talking about a tree. And what happens if this water that is supposed to produce wood, to nurture the tree is efficient. What happens with the tree?
Grows. Water nurtures.
Nurtures the tree, which is liver and gallbladder, okay, and it's connected with anger. We're going to see this on the next lecture. So what happens when the water is efficient, when we feel, this is anger but also decision, okay? So decisiveness is the word. Okay? So what happens when we are afraid? When the water is efficient? Imagine that you're looking at a tree that has no water inside. What's happening with that tree?
It dry out.
It's dry, okay? So it's dry. It's dry, sorry. Okay, and what happens when the wood is dry?
It can ignite. You can just drop it.
It can produce fire very easily, right?
With friction.
Yes, yes. So if you're afraid, if you have fear, the wood inside your body gets dry. And it's easier for you to get angry and to produce fire inside the body. That's what's happening. Yeah. I don't know if that answers your question, but that's how we are connected.
Yeah, but I'm trying to get some practical outcome because this is connected to my daily life right now.
So, what is the answer you want to get? Exactly.
How to reduce the heat or how to reduce the anger.
You have to reduce the fear. Yeah.
We have to use the fear.
You have to reduce the fear. How do you reduce the fear?
Face it.
Facing it. And what does it mean?
Face it. Good. Directly face it.
And what happens when you face it?
First understand what is that fear, what is the root of the fear.
Okay.
What are we afraid of?
So remember when I was asking you what is fear for you? What did you tell me?
He said constriction.
Constriction.
Constriction or restriction.
And then
Lack of
lack of control.
Unknown.
Unknown. So what you have to do to overcome fear is you have to bring clarity. And clarity is connected to Shen, and Shen is connected to the heart. So how do you bring clarity into your life?
Asking myself, stay with myself, and be 100% true
Yeah?
with myself. To figure out what am I really scared, lose my life or lose money.
How do you reconnect with yourself?
Stay with only myself.
How?
Meditation.
For example, when you're a kid, how do you know you're yourself? How do you know? You know, when we grow up, we
Through
usually say,
control.
what?
Through I can touch them.
Touch. So what does it mean?
Means I have feeling. The feeling
Feeling.
prove I'm myself.
Okay.
So
So where is that feeling? Where is the feeling stored? Is it here? Here, but also?
your brain.
You don't feel with the brain. What did you use to feel? What are you using to feel the vital?
Skin.
My body.
Important.
So if you want to reconnect to yourself, you need to use the body. This is the first tool. So meditation is not about controlling the mind. It's about reconnecting with your body. There is no other way to understand our emotions if we don't connect with our bodies. And I'm sorry, I know this is very contradictory with other schools, but there is no other way.
But is it the body now is a healing, right? From the mobility of
You have to open the body.
open the body.
Yes. And remember we were having this longevity talk the other day, and I said there is no difference between the mind and the body. As well.
Yes.
There is no difference. And actually, if you talk about feelings, and if you go to, for example, the Tao, the Jing, or even the Chinese medicine text, the mind is not here. If you look at the translations, they translate mind from the character heart, Qi. So they are talking about feelings. So if you want to overcome fear and bring clarity to your life, you need to use your body first. It doesn't help if you are wondering and thinking the whole day, what am I going to do? What happens if I do this and if I do that? If you just do some exercise, like half an hour or 1 hour a day, your mind will be clearer because you're reconnecting with your body. And the emotions that are stuck there are going to surface out, and you will see them clearly. So this fear, it has a root, Everybody's fear has a different root. You need to find yours. But this fear, the root is here. Remember, we're talking about the kidneys, so we need to reconnect with the root, and it's in the body. And then you can go back again to the mind, to the consciousness, and then go back to the body. But you have also, all the time you have to get back to your body. All the time. It has, all the answers are here. But we ignore the body. Every day. Every day. All the answers are there. I don't know if that answers your question now.
Helps, but it's relatable, but it's a bit like it's a spiral, or it's all interlinked, right? So at the moment I'm struggling with mobility. You saw the other day in the class. And then there is this heat and anger. So because of the anger, out of nowhere blood pressure goes up. And that increases the heat, or it's kind of spiraling out of control. I can just sit there and watch, why is all this happening, kind of a thing. Then I try to move, walk, muscle fatigue sets in. You can only do so much. Then I say, okay, cut down this food, add that, just to control the body heat. So it seems to be very difficult to get that opening and say, okay, from here, this is how I'm going to climb out of it.
Yeah, you said something very interesting. You said control the body. So you want to
Not control the body at all. Have like a way to get out of this, right? Body cannot move, mobility issue. Muscle fatigue sets in easily. As in what you think you can do versus what your muscles really can do are two different things. So you're trying to get that, you do this, that goes wrong.
So, do you know what you are afraid of? Would you like to talk about that, or I don't know, maybe I can help you with that, and we can also connect that with the talk today, if you want to talk about it.
It's like being taken control of, or losing my independence, or becoming dependent. I think I have a deep fear of being dependent and not being able to handle my own stuff.
What does it mean to you to be independent or dependent? How do you see those two ideas? What does it mean to be
So I think it's also about trusting and not willing to trust anybody or anything. Not as if, you, like I may become a burden, and there is also that rejection, fear of rejection. That's the root of the trust issues. So if you approach and trust someone and ask for anything, there is a fear of rejection. And there's ample examples. And anything you fear plays out in real life. It's like, at least I attract what I fear. If I fear rejection, somehow I'll be in a situation where I'll face rejection.
Have you felt rejected before?
Many, many times, like in daily life.
When you were a kid?
Also, and even later, as an adult too. Like you go and ask for something and people ignore you, or somebody you care about ignores you, doesn't respond. People were talking very nicely to you. The next day they ignore your presence. So like that, there are several examples.
And what happened before when you got rejected?
When I was a child or now?
When you were a child, especially.
I just never put myself in a situation where I may be rejected, or be in a place where I'm the giver. It's only when you ask for something it can be rejected. If you give something, sometimes you can be rejected even for giving, but the probability is lesser.
Okay. How did that influence your life besides just feeling these physical symptoms? Like, what happened in different areas of your life that you feel like they are connected? But what kind of experiences you had before connected to this kind of rejection fear? Like, for example, I don't know, romantic relationships or work or.
No, always single.
Mhm.
Never found that kind of a personal deep connection.
Mhm.
Always been the leader, not a equal team player.
Mhm.
Always been a person who carries everything along.
Mhm.
Overachiever.
Overachiever, yeah. So, what do you think, or what do you feel you overachieve, or you want to overachieve things? What does it mean to you?
Self-reliance or
Self-reliance. Mhm. Okay, and when you were trying to bond with someone, you felt that this fear and anger came up. There was this like a build
I
something.
think I naturally kept a distance from potentially somebody with whom I could. The so-called viable relationships. I think I kept a distance.
Because you were afraid of being hurt, or because you were afraid of hurting
Many,
someone?
many layers. Yeah.
Many layers.
Many times, who I liked probably didn't like me many times.
Mm.
You can say it's natural, it can happen. But somehow there is multiple layers to it, like socially, personally, personality wise.
Yeah.
And that overachiever personality is not the most conducive for a woman trying to form a romantic bond.
Mm. Yeah. So, okay. So you talk about trust, for example. Okay. Reliance. Do you feel you can trust yourself?
Yes.
You feel you can rely on yourself? Totally, 100%?
Sometimes, sometimes. But mostly, I would say the most reliable person for me is myself.
Mm.
I may not say 100% I can rely on myself, but very close.
Mm. And what happens if you stop relying on yourself? You think no one's going to come to save you or to support you? Mm. think we're
kind
getting
of uncovering
closer.
something. So I quit my job after 26 years. And probably that's why a lot of these things are surfacing now. I've always held a high power position, which it didn't work out very well in the last 2 years. I had a boss who could not dominate, and it was a very toxic relationship with my boss the last 2 years. The previous 24 were quite successful. That's how I stuck to that profession. The last 2.5 years were a lot of fear. It's almost like erasure of the previous 24 years. And I think that did a lot to me. And finally, when I made the decision to quit, even after that, it was like an escape, like close call. Just got out. June 30 was my last working day. I changed my visa, got a TTV, just came back to Shanghai, and I'm feeling this rage and heat. And
Also, this rage and heat comes after you came here.
after I'm safe enough from the environment, it's like it's bubbling up.
Yeah, that's because you're relaxed. Look, when we practice meditation and we relax the body, all these stored emotions, they surface out. They just come and keep coming, and most of the time we don't know what to do. When I started doing meditation for the first 6 months, I remember I was 19 years old at the time. I also had these fear and anger issues. And I used to dream. My master told me that I will see demons during my meditation sessions and also in dreams. And yeah, and I remember for many weeks, months actually, I had these nightmares where I saw demons, like entities with dark or with red eyes holding me against the bed, And then I had my eyes open all the time. I could see my room, but I couldn't move. And the last entity, I remember, it was myself. It was myself. I was holding myself against the bed, and I remember I was looking at my face with red eyes and this angry, like, it was not anger, it was, I remember the English word, something worse than anger, So I quite understand that, because you feel more relaxed here. So your body's dealing with all these stored emotions now. And I mean, it's good. It's hard. I'm not going to say it's easy, but it's good. It means you have more clarity now. Okay, so most of the people, they go to one place and they say, oh yeah, I'm going to change my life and everything is going to be wonderful. And then all these things happen. And they start to change. There is no way you can change without seeing your own darkness first. There's no way. Okay, so my suggestion would be, like, because I don't know, like, you need to see your own fear by yourself. You need to train yourself for that. I can give you advices and everything, but it's not going to solve the problem. So my suggestion would be, like, maybe keep coming, we can talk, and maybe can, I don't know, try to put you on a good path so you can face your fears. But I think you're getting to the point. Now you know. And it's good that these emotions come, because you can see them.
So actually, I'm staying with a friend, and he's going through his own whatever thing, and he said, okay, let's not, interfere in this. You stay in this part of the house, I stay in this part of the house, and then I finally told him we need some space. So he said, okay, I will go away, and I will come back when you're ready to have a roommate. So we are going through all these things too, and I think it's really two independent things. What he's going through is.
Is it Sorry if I ask you, but is he just a friend or is it like a kind of relationship you have? Like,
It's a very complex relationship. You can say child, brother, sometimes even like a soulmate kind of a connection. But we are 20 years apart, and he's married just now, so it's a very complex.
Usually relationships show parts of us that we don't want to see. That's why we connect with people. I didn't know that before coming to Chiang. But that's why we connect to people. We connect with people to see things that we don't see in ourselves.
So the brain was in him. And after we started staying together in the same house, it's come to me kind of, And it's better. Is it like I was always the moody person, and now your behavior is like impossible to deal with. I'm conscious enough to recognize I'm literally biting his head off. He just needs to walk across. I'll just
Explode.
kill him. So
So that's why usually the main emotion you're going to see in overachievers is anger. Because anger is connected to decisiveness.
connected to
Decisiveness, to the capacity to make hard decisions in life. The liver, which is the wood, we're going to see that in the next lecture, is the strategist. So the liver helps us to evaluate different scenarios in life and know the way through. So if it's a healthy liver, it's a good strategist. We have a strong character. Doesn't mean we get angry. It means we have direction, we have purpose, and we can move through life with strategy, like in a smart way. But if the liver is congested, if it's stagnant, we usually get angry, and it usually gets stagnant because the kidney has fear. So we need to work on both. So yeah, it might be connected with the liver. And I'm talking about from my experience too, because when I had my clinic, I was with my ex-girlfriend at that time. The relationship got complicated because I was an overachiever. I used to work a lot. I used to study all these things that you just saw today. All these Chinese texts translated into English or Spanish. I used to work a lot, translate a lot. I didn't want to sleep because I wanted to be good at what I was doing, and it was really bad for my life and for my relationship too. I'm very ambitious even now, but I had to learn how to find a balance. So anger is one of the main emotions you find in overachievers. Yeah.
So the decision to quit my job was in March, and end of May, end of June was the thing, and I'm like out. Okay, it is really dramatic that no job. I only had to work on myself, my body. Have issues with movement, mobility, and body is on fire, and blood pressure is shooting up. So that worried me. Yesterday I thought maybe I should just go to India. This whole Chiang Mai and new life and everything, is it a good idea? Should I just go and sit with the doctor? I know what they will do. I will just get some tablets to take for hypertension and all that, because there is a risk of stroke if your blood pressure keeps shooting up too much.
It can help, but anything that comes from the outside is just momentary help.
I know.
So
I don't think it'll just go up and up. They keep increasing the dosage. I know how it typically works in the Western medicine. So I just don't want to flip into that mode. But the risk of stroke is also real. So that's the reason. In fact, the most attractive thing about today's lecture was to talk about this. Not in the conventional way of take one tablet if it is this, take two if no, that's not. That's just putting in some chemicals to address a symptom.
Yeah. You know, I actually my most of my clients are overachievers. That's why I know this situation. Yeah, and I was an overachiever before. So you know, the body has all the chemicals you need to be healthy, and you can activate those chemicals through meditation and Qigong. It's you can say it's a harder way to do that, but it's not. If you have the proper training, you can stop taking pills very fast, just in weeks. But you need to be trained on that. We can talk about that more deeply if you want.
Yes. Can I get your time? What's your schedule like?
Yeah, sure. We can talk about this after the talk. I don't know if it's already over. Is it already over?
No, I just checked for the monitor.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, keep.
So, any questions?
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
There is not from not from Chinese medicine problem, but it's a problem. Like when we say eat the pills, drugs from a doctor, they always influence my kidneys. There is we know, but that is I have some problem with my kidneys. There's some small bubble inside, and the filter, the kidneys is a filter, right? But it doesn't work well, so that but also have high blood pressure. That means if I want to cure my high blood pressure, I need to eat pill, but the pill influence my kidneys, and my kidneys also have a problem. That is a loop back. So like for me, it's not a big problem because I find a kind of pill that can cure both direction at the same time. But I mean that is a very common issue to a lot of people is kidneys problem, but have some other issue, eat pill, but also like make the kidneys more bad. I don't know how, what are you thinking or?
So when we talk about high blood pressure, you are also talking about fear. Remember the relationship between the heart and the kidneys? So when the kidneys are weak, usually the fire flares up in the body. It could be wood fire or heart fire. Okay? So I don't know what other symptoms you have. I have to check your body and everything, and then I will know. But usually when you have high blood pressure, it comes from a kidney deficiency. So in that case, we have to nurture the kidneys. For me, I mean, I've taken herbs, I did acupuncture, I did different treatments before, but it wasn't until I came back to meditation and Qigong that everything changed and I got healed. That's why I teach more meditation and Qigong than Chinese medicine now. So we can try. You can keep coming to the lessons on Thursdays, and we can try. We can also talk about that. But if you want to focus your treatment, I would say you have to warm the kidneys, and maybe you. I mean, this is something that I just see because we are starting to know each other. But what I see is that you tend to overthink. You're thinking the whole day and thinking and thinking and thinking, and that weakens the kidney.
And what? And we can sick it.
Yeah, we get sick. I mean, we get sick. Most of us don't understand until now the power of our thoughts. So every thought we have creates a reaction in the body, like this. So, for example, if you're an investor and you're into crypto, and it's like, okay, suddenly you say, you see that the market is getting low and you cannot sell, you cannot buy, like you cannot do anything, and then thoughts start coming to your mind, and they are usually connected or related with fear. So that's going to produce a reaction in your body. So what we do with meditation and what we do reconnecting the mind with the body is getting the mind back to the present, because the body lives in the present. When our mind goes to the future and we start getting scared, that's when disease comes, because we're disconnected from the present. So we need to get back to the present. And we usually think, okay, but if I live in the present, how can I make money? How can I plan things? Everything starts coming without effort. You know this guy, Ken Honda, he's a Japanese guy, he talks about happy money. And one of the first things he said is that when you stop working hard, other people come and help you. Because that is a law. There has to be a balance. And when you do astrology, for example, Chinese astrology, you can see that if someone has, the Chu, the day of birth, okay? So you have your day of birth. If it's too strong, it means you're independent, okay? And you can do a lot of things by your own, but it also means that your life can be really hard. That's, for example, that was my life before. I used to think that I could do everything by myself. I was like, yeah, and I also had, in Peru at least.
Is it like independent is good?
It depends. When you get too independent, you lose connection with other people. And connections are crucial. Human beings, for example, if you see nature, any other species, they get out from the womb and they walk. They can do whatever they want. But human beings, we cannot. We get out of the womb, and then we need our mom, we need our father, we need people to take care of us. Yeah. Human beings, we thrive through connections. But the problem is that, okay, you can be more independent. That means you can be a leader, but you need a team to be a leader. You cannot be a leader without a team alone. That's impossible. And you cannot be overly dependent. That's also bad for you. It means you cannot do things for yourself, even going to the toilet. So we need, in astrology, what we want is to find the balance, the same as Chinese medicine. So if we know we're independent, we need to humble, go down, and say, okay, I can be independent, I can do many things by my own, but there are things in life that I don't know, and I need other people's help. So that way you change your way of thinking, and also your health changes. The kidneys are the first organ that gets affected by overthinking, overachieving, overworking. So the kidneys is the first. Yeah, the kidney is the first.
It's because overthinking to make my kidneys worse, or it's because my kidneys not working well, so I do a lot of overthinking. I don't know the relation. It's a loop, right?
Yeah, because your kidneys are not working well, and then you think, oh, why my kidneys are not working well? I'm going to get this disease. And then, that's the job of the doctors. They plant the seed of fear inside your mind, and that's how they sell you pills. So for example, I don't take any pills. In 2022, the doctor said that I had to do surgery on my knee because I had chondromalacia, grade 3 chondromalacia, and my ACL was going to tear down. And they said, yeah, surgery. And I said, no. And I started doing meditation and training again, and I healed. And I didn't do any surgery. And also I had the problem in my hip, my
Can we call that self-recovery?
self-recovery, self-healing.
Self-healing.
Yeah. So you can do that with your mind if you believe, because everything is belief. Everything is belief systems. Everything. Everything. If you go to the doctor and he gives you pills, you believe that those pills are going to heal you, are going to cure you. But that's a belief.
So about what you're thinking about that, but this is not in the topic about the
Supplements.
supplement. Yes.
I
This
went and
is
got
not for.
You are taking supplements?
No, I'm not yet. But it's not for healing, but it's not for, I don't know, to change something very directly. But it's something like assurance to us is that it can help you to improve some of your ability, of your, I don't know, dimension.
I went and bought a whole bunch of supplements yesterday. Then I thought, am I stupid? Okay, the reason I'm saying, am I stupid, is because each one of those have side effects too. Okay, so I do know I've owned vitamin D. I'm not getting enough sunlight, and I'm not absorbing the sunlight, so I bought vitamin D supplement. I did this yesterday, and it can affect the liver or kidney or something, one of the two. So I've got those supplements with me. Where is that point? Where is it going to, is the vitamin D going to help me? Or is that side effect going to cause a reaction, which is going to cause a different problem, which will make it worse? So all these thoughts are there.
Okay, you think you, like I said, you think you trust something, but you actually not 100% trust. So you're gonna doubt, is it workable or not? So
I
that
don't know
overthink and
that
it
this has a side effect. Okay, I do know that this has a side effect. All the doctors also know it has a side effect. But it's a question of, can I solve that problem later? And will the supplement help me cross a few weeks? Okay, something like that.
Yeah. What I could say about that is that you should do some tests,
oh yeah.
but also listen to your body. When I started training with my master, I remember I was very persistent with the question. I always ask him at the beginning, just the first weeks, what can I eat to be better at Kung Fu? Like, give me some nutrition plan, whatever. And he was like, keep training, keep doing meditation, and your body is going to know what you have to eat. And I was like, I was very anxious at that time. I was like, but I need something, I need a structure, I need something that, what I was looking for was safety. Because the mind looks for safety. We look for survival. So,
Facts of the matter. I would also like to add that thing. When I came here, the main thing I was looking for, I told my friend also, hey, first I want safety. Okay, my nervous system, I'll bring it to a safe state. After that, I'll work on health. Okay, do you relate to that sense of inner safety? Does your nervous system feel safe?
Not every time. Always nervous. At, I think for me it's always there, always overthinking. What I can do is like I generated another very solid sense is this is what I need to do. So and leave it the overthinking. I still overthinking, but I leave it there, and I can pick some thinking from that and help me to build. But I don't want to think each of them. Like I cannot think of them. If I that's a fear, right? If I starting to fear, that's like I will continue to fear. That's what happened before to me. So yeah, I'm in a testing mode now. For me, it's a testing mode. I don't know if it's workable, but I found out something. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that, and that I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, you should test. Like, you should do, for example, what she says, like going out, get some sun, and see how are your vitamin D levels, and then compare the results with the pills. You know, in in my opinion, I don't do that because I was trained in a different way. I remember that after my master told me that, it was after like 6 months, 8 months. Um, I remember I came back home and there was this my favorite dish at home. It's called chicken rice, but in Peru it's a different chicken rice. So I ate the chicken and it tastes like chewing gum. And I was like, what? This is my favorite dish. How is it like? Why is the chicken tasting like that? And I tried again and I didn't want to eat. And after that, I stopped eating meat for a few months. I didn't want to become vegetarian. I didn't care about like like vegan. They care about the animals. I also care about the animals, but it's for me. I like eating meat. But at that time, it wasn't an idea. It was a feeling. So what I'm trying to say is that when you have um, inner cultivation, when you have these internal practices, you can feel more, and you know which kind of food is going to affect you more or less, because we have different natures, and we need to move through life with our nature and see what things. For example, you eat spicy, and it's good for you. But if I eat spicy, it's not going to be good because we're different. But we need to feel. If someone else, if a doctor comes here and says, no, yeah, you have to eat spicy because it's healthy, I don't care because I don't feel like it's healthy for me. So what we have to do, from my point of view, is reconnect with our body to understand what we need to do, not only with food or supplements, but also with life. Yeah. And that would be my